It's taking a while today. Are we live?
Don't mind me just reading my theocratic dictatorship documents.
Okay. Why is it saying it's private? But whatever. I'll try to share it.
Ni hao.
Okay. All right, guys. So we're talking about Matt Walsh and his hatred of video gamers.
Gamers,
It-
gamers.
Gamers.
Gamer is our word. He can't say it.
Yes.
Gamer is what he can say
Gamer. Why is that? Why can he say
because it's
gamer?
our word, man.
It's our
He's
word.
not a game. He's not a gamer. He can't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Matt Walsh kind of has this strange idea that because the gaming industry is full of woke people, therefore as a whole is bad. It's bad for you, right? And the thing is, like, there are conservative video game developers out there who are trying to infiltrate the gaming industry. And people like Matt Walsh are basically trying to seed the gaming industry to the left.
Mhm.
And here's the thing, your grandchildren, like if you seed the gaming industry to the woke left, your grandchildren are going to basically be influenced by the gaming industry.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and
Well
so
put.
so his solution is, oh well, like it's so woke, so kind of like ban this stuff. Like he's not saying ban it. I think he's saying like like conservatives should not get involved in this. Okay, well, your grandchildren will be involved, and guess what? They're probably going to be woke then. They're going to be brainwashed by the whole gaming industry because you seeded the gaming industry to the woke left.
This is what Devin Stack from Black Pilled just talked about this, where a lot of conservatives they'll talk about like we need to reclaim the culture, but they don't want to do any of the work to actually reclaim the culture. So they'll say stupid things like, "Oh, video game, we shouldn't be involved in video games." They're like you are very well correct. You're saying they're seeding an entire subsection of culture just because they're too lazy and stupid to even understand its relevance. Video games are the only really interactive art media these days, right? It's more personal than film. It's a wonderful entertainment medium. Like I barely use it, but I can totally see the benefits of if actual conservatives got more into the video game industry.
Yes. And actually, I think the gaming industry has been kind of toning it down a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Like because they're looking at the audience and the gamer community. Yes, there's a lot of lefty woke people, but at the same time, there's a lot of people in the far right that
Oh
play
yeah.
video games. Now, Matt Walsh also has this weird idea, like the strange idea that he follows is that apparently video games cause like mass shootings and violence when actually it's the opposite. And here's the thing though, if you get rid of the video games, there will be other things that kids will do violently. Like when you were a kid, when I was a kid, we were violent as boys, like even without video games. Like if you're playing a game with your friends, there will be some sort of game that will involve violence.
Yeah, that's just how kids are.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like there will be that one kid who will actually enjoy the violence too much, right? So
Yeah.
how's that a better alternative than video games? Because honestly, if you get that kid and you just let him play some shooters, it will actually calm him down a lot more than him actually hanging out with other kids and actually enjoying the violence physically.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I
yeah.
remember back in the like late early 2000, by that I mean like the 2008 up kind of era where people were saying like violent movies cause mass shootings. It's like, yeah, potentially, right? I'm sure there is a relation to like kids who do nasty things like that, awful, horrible things like that, and kids who watch just like depraved, horrible films. But one of the things that, and typical Matt Walsh to miss the entire, cause of the problem, him and all of his Daily Wire, I'm not going to say the word friends, but one of the key sources of like mass shootings, for example, violence in the streets, broken families, broken culture, right? Kids growing up in broken homes and just targeting video games is just looking for, it's trying to treat cancer with aspirin. You're not going to do it.
Yes. So, yeah, like you said, a lot of it has to do with broken homes. I'll say, the secularization of our culture,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of video games, movies, like also novels. Like novels, they seem to be more productive, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of novels are just straight up evil. You
Oh,
know, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, like there's some novels you should not allow your kids to read, and they should not be in your house. But they're novels, they're not violent video games, right? Your kid is
Mm-hmm.
reading, but what are they reading? Right?
Yeah,
So,
that's
so
exactly.
should you stop reading novels because evil novels exist?
It's like those people
Yeah,
who say, "I read." What do you read, right?
yeah,
You'll meet a girl and she's like, I read a lot, and she reads like Harlequin novels and Wiccan trash. You'll meet like an older guy and he's like, I read a lot. It's like, oh really? It's all World War II propaganda. Like
yeah,
you don't read a lot.
yeah,
You might as
exactly.
well just plug your brain into the television. You're
Yeah,
doing the
like
same thing.
yeah, like he'll be reading that World War II revisionism propaganda about like the German mustache man being a good guy or something like that.
Listen here. Listen here.
So
I'm not
anyway,
starting this book with you this early.
anyways, yeah, yeah, yeah. But what are you reading, right? Like you could be reading like straight up trash, right? Degenerate trash, but you're somehow better than a video gamer.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
like if as a dude you should be reading some hoe scaring material about like theology, church fathers, Atlantis,
and
um,
Lovecraft.
and Lovecraft. Read Lovecraft.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, well,
unironically,
yeah.
girls love Lovecraft. Dudes read Lovecraft. It's
Yeah,
weird, but they like it.
especially if you want like a nice goth girlfriend,
Yeah,
Lovecraft.
we love
Seriously.
goth girls.
Like, yeah, or if you want to pretend that your girlfriend's a goth, get her into reading Lovecraft. You know. Yeah. But yeah,
Pretend.
yeah, yeah, like
Uh,
yeah, if you want to turn your girlfriend into a goth girl,
yes, yes,
yeah, yeah, like give her some Lovecraft and you'll see the
yes.
changes instantly. If you want to like you want a trad goth girlfriend, give her some Lovecraft.
Back to the topic though, it's
Yeah.
absolutely Matt Walsh and his ilk from the Daily Wire. It's the Daily Wire, right?
Yeah, yes, they wire.
His ilk from the Daily Wire. How typical of them to not try to conserve anything. They're just going to complain and bemoan the problem and give like very half-hearted solutions when the problem itself is the culture being inherently anti-family, inherently anti any godlike values, right? But they just want to give up more ground, right? They'll give up more ground. They'll keep giving up ground. That's not the solution. And anyone who keeps saying to give up more ground, they're not offering solutions. They're offering like painkiller for cancer.
Okay. Like are you still there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
was it.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was it.
Yeah, I thought like somehow
No.
with your sound. Yeah. Well, like here's the thing. Also, like there's this false notion that adult men who play video games are not productive members of society. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
lie too, because right now, like millennial men in their 30s who are playing video games. Like we pay our taxes, we go to work, we have jobs, um, we have our own cars, we pay rent, we pay the bills. Some of us have families. Yet, because once in a while, once in a while, we'll play some video games, and somehow, that somehow makes us unproductive somehow.
You
Like,
know,
for
my
example,
theory.
a lot of people like Matt Walsh will talk about movies being woke and how like Tolkien is supposed to be like this world of escapism, right? And the woke left is trying to destroy that. People like Matt Walsh, they'll complain about that, but then like they'll be angry when normal guys play video games. Like, well, that's also a form of escapism. Like, why do you think so many guys like Skyrim, especially right-wing men? They love Skyrim
Mhm.
and they want to
Yeah.
play as the Stormcloaks, right? And same thing applies, I guess, to liberal men who play as the Imperials, but that's a whole different story. But basically, basically, like a lot of men play shooters, a lot of men play like war games, is because it's like another way for men to kind of, do something manly. Like a lot of us like, like the manly men that we watch in Lord of the Rings, right? Like Aragorn, this alpha male hero, right? And then then like we could play Skyrim where you're a dragonborn, right? You're the leader of the Stormcloaks, right? All this is all kind of like male dominated activities, like, because it's mostly men that play video games, mostly
Oh
men.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Women,
it's
when they
yeah.
do play games, they're phone games, they're mobile games. Consistently, women generally play like
Actually,
Candy Crush.
Call of Duty for the phone was actually pretty based.
I've never played it.
Yeah. Well, I played it like right when it first came out. It was awesome. Like the Call of
Mhm.
Duty, it was basically Call of Duty Black Ops on the mobile phone, and it was straight up online. Like there's no story. It's just straight up online, and
Dope.
and um it's obviously like it didn't matter if it was Wi-Fi or the mobile connection, right? It didn't matter. Like basically, like it had good settings, it was good quality, and originally, um, originally when it first came out, you just kind of you just point your gun at someone, and it will automatically shoot. So
Hmm.
basically, like you just kind of you just move the cursor, right? You just move your gun,
Yeah, yeah.
with one hand, one hand you just you move around, and then the other hand you just kind of move the gun, basically like a regular video game, but you just kind of put your thumbs on the screen, and
Oh,
it,
okay.
it will just read it, and you'll actually just point your weapon at someone, and it'll automatically shoot. It'll just
Hmm.
automatically shoot. And then I think they added like a new feature where you kind of have to press the button to shoot, something like that. It
Yeah.
was kind of dumb, but it was fun. Like I was actually getting good at it. Like I was playing it so much. Like I was actually like one of the top, players. And then like all of a sudden they start to add more and more features, more microtransactions, and you know how it goes. And
Yeah.
yeah, then like yeah,
The
then
damn Chinese
then you don't
ruined it.
hear about it anymore. Like people just lose interest. I wonder why.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Hot take. This just occurred to me literally like a minute ago. I bet the reason Matt Walsh and his ilk hate video games is the same reason they hate TikTok, because it's a medium that the controlled opposition does not control, right? Why do conservatives hate TikTok? They don't actually hate TikTok because it originated from China. They tried to get rid of it. TikTok spent billions of dollars, I think it was billions or millions, one of the two, moving all their servers to Texas so they would be a US based company, and they still hate it. Why? Because it's not controlled propaganda. A lot of video game media, right? That's probably why Walsh hates Tolkien. When as soon as you said that, this like clicked in my brain.
Wait. He hates Tolkien?
You said he didn't like the Lord of the Rings. He thinks it's
No,
ageist.
no. I meant he doesn't like the wokeism in the Lord of the Rings that's going on right now. The whole Rings of
Oh,
Power
okay.
stuff. Yeah. Sorry
Well,
if
I know
I.
Ben
Yeah.
Shapiro doesn't like Tolkien, and a lot of
Well,
like
yeah, because
Southern.
Tolkien was a Roman Catholic, and the Roman
Yeah,
Catholics did not like certain people.
yeah, exactly that. Why do Southern Baptists think that Lord of the Rings is demonic? Because they've been taught to believe that a fantasy setting where good like ontologically good people with God on their side will defeat the bad people who are like straight up evil, right? A fantasy setting where that is the theme and through faith, through Christ, all things are possible, even in the smallest means. Why do so many Christians hate that? Makes me wonder. It's because you're reading Tolkien, you're not watching World War II propaganda. It's because you're playing video games about the Cold War or something, right? You're not watching state approved or Hollywood approved media. I bet that's a large reason why.
Yeah, well, Matt Walsh, when it comes to geopolitics, for example, he is very normie about it, and he's very normie when it comes to a lot of cultural issues. I mean, he's slightly less normie on cultural issues because he did make that documentary, "What Is a Woman?" And that's kind of like one of the few things that I give him credit for. Like, is that okay? He
I
kind
mean,
of
I'll
like
be honest.
he kind of attempted to kind of break through the cycle, but then like
Hot take. I'll,
yeah,
I'll
go
drop a
ahead.
spicy hot take. If that's his best work, making What is a Woman, which is something that we all clearly know, a woman is a woman born female, right? I think it's like an XY chromosome. I'm not a chemist, all right? I'm but a humble analyst. It's one of the two. If that's his best effort, practically stating the sky is blue, dude, he needs to go to more practice. He needs a lot more time practicing before he gets on the front lineup.
Yeah. Well, Matt Walsh seems like the guy who, like another reason why he might hate video gamers, he might hate anything that's fun. Like, so he might
Mm-hmm.
like he might hate anything that's fun because he was probably the guy who was never invited to anything fun as a kid. So as a child, he probably got like, he's probably not liked as a kid. Like he's probably that one boring kid. And then like now he's angry about it. Like he's angry
Mm-hmm.
that like people are still having fun. People at age 30, age 40, millennials, many of us are 40-year-olds now, right?
Yeah.
And Matt Walsh, he's a millennial, he's 37.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's that one millennial who um I don't know, like just probably just did not get invited to any parties, and so he hates anything that has to do with fun. So like he
I mean,
doesn't
that's
want
that's like
like he's
Pearl.
kind of like it's kind of like Pearl, yeah. Pearl like she's not married, she's already in her 20s, she's almost 30, she's not married, so she doesn't want anyone to get married, and so she wants everyone to be miserable just like her. And Matt Walsh is kind of doing the same thing. He's married, but he as an adult married man, he's not really having too much fun, and so he's
Mm-hmm.
angry that other men who are also married can also have fun with video games once in a while in their life. And so it bothers him that like other men could still have fun while being married. And like while he's married, he probably doesn't have that much fun. He's just boring.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like Chud Jack if Chud Jack grew a beard. He does not look like a fun person. Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's my best
Like
commentary on it.
he well
It
he
does not look fun.
well, from what I understand, he likes to go fishing, right? And Brett Cooper, by the way, Brett Cooper also works for Daily Wire, and she's actually a video gamer, right? And so, like he invited her to go fishing with him, and he was teaching her, the basics about fishing and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And like she's a girl, and she's all excited about this, right? But what's interesting is that he kind of like he's just kind of standing still. Like sure he might have like a smirk or something, but that's as fun as it gets. Like that's as fun as he gets. Like something that he likes to do, he's still not really fun at that. Something that he likes to do, he's still not really as fun. Like because
Dude is
Brett
literally,
Cooper, she's all being like all jolly and like being excited. I get
yeah.
it. I get it, woman moment, but still, like she's still showing some sort of, interest that this is, like
Look,
funny, like
you can be impish, you can have fun, be a little Dionysian.
yeah, and Matt Walsh, he just kind of like he'll have like a smirk. Okay, like, but and he like yeah, like I'm thinking that's as fun as it gets for you.
Dude,
And,
you know
and,
what he's
and
saying?
this is something you like. This is something you like to do, and you're still not passionate about that.
He's saying the bait has fallen, billions must wait. That's what he's saying.
His most way. Yeah. Well, Matt Walsh, here's another thing. He's rich. He makes lots of money. A lot of working class guys. You know, they're working many hours, they're getting underpaid, they're overpaying for rent, overpaying for food, right? They're overspending for their children's food, they're overspending for their children's clothing, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then once in a while, it's good to just take a little break and have some escapism, play some Black Ops, you know, go online and play with some random dudes online,
Oh yeah.
shoot at some other team, right? Or just go in there, play some Skyrim, some Oblivion, you know, in a fantasy world for a couple hours just to relax and forget about
Yeah.
your pain and suffering that you're going through as a working class man who's struggling in this life, right? It's a form of escapism, just like watching a movie. But Matt Walsh, he's not going through all this suffering. He's not working these crazy hours, right? He's basically a mediocre YouTuber who's working for a company that has lots of investors and he's making lots of money and he's not working long hours. Like he just sits at his desk, you know, reads a script, you know, reads a news story, uh, comments about the news story, his day is over. He doesn't even do the editing. He doesn't do any of the sound stuff. You know, there's separate people doing that stuff. Like he
Hmm.
does not insert like the edit, like because a lot of genuine YouTubers, regardless of their political ideology, a lot of genuine YouTubers, they'll insert, you know, like random funny clips in their YouTube monologue, right? Like they actually work, right? They actually still put some sort of time and effort, but whenever it's not a live stream, like right now we're live, right? But like even me, like when I just edit a video, when I record a video, you know, I try to add some music. I try to, you know, like try to add some titles in there, right?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
there's some sort of effort. And like but then there's other bloggers who do a lot more than I do. And they spend more money on more on better effects and all this other stuff. And they spend hours and hours just editing their own footage. And so these genuine YouTubers, they're more entertaining to watch, like because they're putting their own time and effort into this, regardless of their political ideology. Matt Walsh doesn't have to do any of this stuff. Like Matt Walsh, like he's not monitoring his own videos. Like he just kind of like does his monologue, you know, and then the editors, they're the ones who kind of insert what they might think is funny in between his monologue,
Yeah, it's
right?
like with a
Like
lot of
they'll
actors.
add the special effects, special sound effects, whatever, right? So Matt Walsh, his job is super easy. So like that could be another reason why he just does not understand what is
Yeah,
true escapism because he's not really struggling that much in his life.
it's like a lot of actors, or especially
Yeah.
like television personalities, they're way too bourgeois to be relatable to anyone, right? Like you said, like Sean Hannity. I really dislike Sean Hannity for a lot of reasons. One main reason started it because he's a CIA like plant. That's a whole different convo for another day. But their worries are just not, they show up, they look out on the camera, they read from the teleprompter, and that's the hardest part of their day, reading from the teleprompter. They don't understand working class people. A lot of them probably have never picked up a shovel except for some kind of surrogate activity. And Matt Walsh is no different. Like you said, he shows up, axes things, the editors do the editing, the broadcasters do the broadcasting, and the marketing group decides what is and is not popular and what he should probably do next. The agents plan everything. He doesn't have anything to worry about. So when he looks at something like a genuine escape, like it doesn't even need to be video games, but video games is a wonderful example. He could look at guys playing Warhammer, having a couple beers. He could look at guys playing, some Rome Total War or some Call of Duty. He'll say, yeah, no fun allowed. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be, you consume, do what I tell you. He's mad. He's mad. That's all it is. Ho's mad.
Yeah. And Rome Total War, it's still awesome, the original.
It is.
And
It is so
I think they
good.
made like a remake. Yeah, they made a like a remake of the first
Yeah.
game. Like just it's the same exact game, same exact rules. It's just the graphics are enhanced.
Yep.
Yeah.
So good. If you've never played a Rome Total War classic, dude, you got to. You can easily spend It's oh my God, how many years old is it? It's like 20 years old or something. It is still so good.
Oh yeah. Well, just like Skyrim, it's like
Yeah,
it's more than 10 years old and it's still relevant.
like Skyrim, Rome Total War, Age of Empires 2, um, the
And
original CODs.
the expansion pack as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
The original CODs, like COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops.
Hmm.
Um, I was gonna say Battlefield, but Battlefield's kind of died lately.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
shameful.
But according to Matt Walsh, basically you're unproductive, basically. You're useless if you play video games just once in a
I mean,
while.
you could say that about reading too. People say that about reading also, right? If you're not reading something that some people value, right? Like I read a lot of philosophy and military history. But I've talked to people who are like, you're not reading theology, you're wasting your time. It's like, cool. Like, I'm not a theologian. I don't understand a lot of that. I'm a layman, you know? I'm not gonna Matt Walsh would say similar, like you're not reading Thomas Locke, so you're wasting your time. Cool. I don't need to
Actually,
read Thomas
reading
Locke
Thomas, uh, actually John Locke. You meant to say
or
John
John
Locke.
Locke, John Locke.
You
Thomas
probably
Hobbes, John
you're
Locke.
probably thinking of a combination. You combine Thomas Paine with John Locke.
Yes,
But I'll tell you this: reading John Locke is a waste of time
it is. It
because
is.
he is trash and he's writing about trash. And
Yep.
Thomas Paine is trash and his books are trash. So yeah,
Read read Leviathan.
read Das Kapital. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's always funny with like these
Yeah.
classics. These,
If you guys really want to read something, here you go.
oh no,
The
no, don't worry. I've got one.
the Old Orthodox Prayer Book. Okay, try reading this once in a while. I'd admit I don't always read this, unfortunately, but just
No,
saying, if
this
you
is
want
all you need. This is all you need, my friend.
mouse quotations.
Look, this is all that's going to be taken out of
No,
context. I
look,
know.
my book is read, but I mean it's an Orthodox book. It's a prayer book. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't. But on a serious note, you don't need to read John Locke. Like,
yeah.
it's funny that the classic liberal writers were all completely BTFO'd by Hobbes when he made Leviathan, and it still stands as fact over them. Like you have John Locke, what is it, Adam Smith, leads to idiots like Francis Fukuyama, who their theories have all all been disproven, right? Like those guys are as bad as Marx when it comes to predicting how society works. And then you have just this beast of a text, Leviathan, that's just like God, King, State. Stop. Wonderful. I
Exactly.
recommend.
Monarchy all the way. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm on the theocratic
But
dictatorship gang.
well, that's what I just said.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. Basically, a true monarchy, basically has this like church and state. They're separate, but they're equal. In America, they destroyed the meaning of separation of church and state. What in America, what it really means is that the state is above the church,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like for example, historically, why do you think whenever a criminal, and this applies to both Roman Catholics and Orthodox, pre and post schism, right? Whenever some criminal would run into a church, he would ask the priest, "Hey, sanctuary, please," right? And
Hmm.
as long as they're in the temple, they get sanctuary, right? And that's because the church was still viewed as holy by the state. And this, like the state did not interfere in church affairs. The church did not interfere in state affairs, but the church influenced the state because
Yeah.
the people in the state, uh, the people in the state were part of the state church, right? So the state church, it did not govern people, but people in the state were influenced by the church, basically, right?
Yeah.
And so you have this balance, you have the symphonia that we Orthodox say, and so but in America, they kind of made it like where the church is below the state, despite the fact that we have freedom of religion. In reality, because we have like no state church, we no religious institution in America is sacred. So you're some criminal and you run into some Baptist church. Well, one, the cops will just run into the church like without a warrant. Like they'll just run in because they're chasing you, right?
Hmm.
Number two, the pastor himself will rat you out. You know,
Yeah.
like there's like no honor in Protestant churches in
Well,
America.
just ask the Branch Davidians, who, by the way, like them or not, they were not convicted of any crime, and they were acquitted of everything they were accused of after, right? So,
Mhm.
again, they may have been weird, but they did not do anything legally wrong.
Yeah,
Like them or not, ask them how that worked. Didn't end very well for them.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. If there's like no sacred institutions at all, then it's a free for all for the government to just go into any church.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like it started in the 90s, but I mean, like the seeds were planted in the 90s, and now like for example, in Canada, you had that one pastor who said, get out, come back with the warrant, get out." I don't know if you remember that Polish that cringe Polish Protestants in Canada.
It sounds kind of familiar, but it
Yeah.
doesn't
Well,
exactly
well,
ring
well, it
a bell.
was the COOF police.
Ah,
Yeah, if you know what I mean, the COOF
yep.
police. They arrived. Like and of course a feminist woman was who she's not even a cop, she's just a civilian employee who was decided that she has some power and
A
she even
shameful display.
yeah, so she brought in some male cops to back her up, and of course the pastor like she started yelling. The moment it was funny is that the moment he started calling them fascists, like the woman's eyes were like, what do you mean I'm the fascist? Like, what do you mean?
They need a better word. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
All of
No, but
I
but but
know
he but he
we don't have
combined
many
he
liberals.
combined communists and fascists. He goes, get out of here, Gestapo! Get out of here, you communists! You know, you're communists. Like he used everything. Like he used communists and like, but he's just trying to like kind of use their
Yep.
words against them, right?
Most
But
intelligent poll.
yeah, no, but I'm saying like it was just funny how like like the pro coof people
Hmm.
constantly love the woke crowd basically love to throw out these words, these big
Oh yeah,
words
yeah,
at us, but then the moment, they're a majority and one of our guys is a minority, and then they kind of throw those words back at them, their eyes go like this. What do you mean I'm that word? You know?
yeah,
What do you mean? Right? And you become something you hate.
yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
um honestly, and I know we don't really have many liberals who watch our show, I'm sure, but like you people need a new word. Like you people really need a new word. It's the intellectual equivalent of saying like you're a bully. Like, dude,
Okay. And you're a bully too. So,
yeah,
yeah.
bro.
Well, they're a cry bully, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
Which I
tell you
think is
what.
also kind of psychologically worse in many aspects.
Well, yeah,
Like a
absolutely.
cry bully is actually worse than an actual bully, because an actual bully could always repent and like an actual bully could also have a troubled past, right? And he might not actually
Yeah.
like what he's doing, right? While the cry bully, like he's an entitled brat,
Yes.
yeah, and so like he's more sinister than the actual bully.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, here's a great example, endemic to a lot of American psychology. Sends weapons to a country to kill another country's people. The country whose people are getting killed does something about it. No, I'm not helping kill your people. What countries am I talking about?
Yeah,
Talking
like
about Russia and America.
yeah, but basically, yeah. Going back to the topic, Matt Walsh is wrong about gamers anyway.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Matt
yeah.
Walsh is wrong about gamers. He can only from now on he can only say gamer, right?
Well,
He can't say gamer
why should he say gamer though? Like, what's
because
the
that's our word. Gamer is our word. He can't use the.
game?
I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Okay.
I almost said it, but I'm
Don't
not.
say it. Don't say it.
Look, Matt, you didn't grow up on the streets of suburbia like we did. All right, you can only say gamer.
Yeah, we're from the streets of suburbia. Well, I don't
Uh,
know. Like, I guess, like, I mean, I did not grow up in the ghetto, but I did not grow up in the suburbs. Like it's kind of more like white trash suburbs. Yeah,
oh, dude, I grew up in the
yeah,
suburbs, but they kept busing kids from like Compton, like
yeah.
straight up from Compton
Hey, you're from
into
Cali,
my
yeah,
neighborhood. Yeah, it
yeah,
was like great.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
could always tell, you could always tell because they were always stealing things, beating kids up, getting in fights, and they'd be
Mm,
gone for like a day, then they'd come back. It's
yeah,
like, ugh.
yeah,
Don't get me started on that one though.
yeah. Like, basically, it's kind of weird because like I grew up outside of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania itself is not really like a big city,
Yeah.
right? But so imagine this: you have like a small medium city, and then it has other suburbs around it that are smaller than that, right?
Oh, okay.
So, like, yeah, sure, like the big city for us in the area is Wilkes-Barre, but then we have these tiny other smaller. And what's interesting, our cities were not even cities; they're called boroughs. They're that small.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I grew up in the borough of Edwardsville, right? Kingston was considered a city, but then Pringle, then Courtdale, like so yeah, like and the thing is like so we had like some neighborhoods that are kind of like okay, then you had other neighborhoods that like were mostly just working class people.
So
So
because they're called boroughs, is that like a
and
nice
here
way to say you're rodents?
here's the thing, most of us the population was mostly white too. So,
Uh yeah,
was
I heard that about
yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
That was pretty
thing
consistent.
is like for some reason certain groups of people like let's just say they're running out of room in Philadelphia and New York
Amish,
City.
the
Well, it's not the
Amish.
Amish, the Amish, of course. But so basically the people of Philadelphia and a certain group of people from New York City, I guess they're running out of room, so their gangs started moving into Wilkes-Barre, right? And all of a sudden,
Ah,
when more of these people of a certain ethnicity started moving in from Philadelphia and New York into Wilkes-Barre, all of a sudden the crime rate started going up, right? And
hmm.
it's like, and let's just say they're 13% of the US population.
Yep. Those damn
But
Amish
but
always
basically,
causing
I'll
trouble.
just say this, yeah, like so the Amish started moving in from New York and Philadelphia, and they basically they were committing 50% of all crimes in Wilkes-Barre. Yeah, like because Wilkes-Barre, like, yeah, it was old, it was industrial, but it was still, not ghettoized
It
industrial.
was it was proletarian.
Yeah, it was just regular European proletarian industrial kind of, old looking, but still. But then like the Amish started moving in from New York and Pennsylvania, and they started
Yeah.
commit 50% of all crimes, and the crime rate right now is through the roof because the Amish started moving in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a problem. Like you'll have these nice proletarian communities and they will get negatively affected by like is there even a word for it? Urban flux?
I don't know.
I guess you could call it. I feel like that's a good word to describe it. Urban flux or I mean mass immigration. Texas is a state-sized microcosm of that. I guess that would be a macrocosm even. One of the largest, most populous states in the country would be a perfect example of that. It was very rural, proletarian, Christian. You know, they're generally Baptists, I think, being a southern state. But it wasn't a bad place to be. And Texas now is having so much immigration that it's trying to start a civil war to stop the immigration. I mean, it's negatively affecting like Christian American communities.
Mm, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I think we're off topic again.
Yeah, we are totally off
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah. But like where is it going with this? Yeah, well, so basically Matt Walsh, he's not from like from the streets like you and I are, right?
Yeah,
Like that's where we're going with this, right? Where
yeah,
like we still grow up in somewhat of a streets, I guess. Like, compared to Matt
yes.
Walsh. Compared to Matt Walsh, we probably like compared to his neighborhood, we were probably in like in the streets. Right?
Oh yeah, most
Well, he was in
likely.
some sort of, actual nice good, real suburban area, right? Like where probably like upper middle class or something. And
Yeah, it's
thing
it's
is,
like a lot of commentators, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, whether you like them or not, just go on Wikipedia, hit their early life, see who their parents are. A lot of them were commentators too. Tucker Carlson's father worked for the CIA. Sean Hannity's father, I don't remember exactly who he is, but he was like a big guy too. A lot of these people, I'm sure Matt Walsh is similar. I'm sure Ben Shapiro are similar. They are not working people. And that's why when you do get someone who's like actually a working class person with a voice, it's so refreshing.
Oh yeah, true, true. Well, yeah, and that is why Matt Walsh does not understand like why adult men are still gamers is because a lot of adult men in America like they need some sort of escapism.
Oh yeah.
And now also like I don't understand like what's up with this whole negativity against gamers. Like and we mentioned earlier that a lot of us are married, a lot of us are mature adults, we pay our taxes, we have normal jobs, we pay rent, right? Well, what else do you
Yeah.
need to be productive in society, right?
I mean, I
Yeah.
understand the stigma. I totally understand a
Yeah,
lot
well,
of the
yeah, I understand
stigma.
it. Like because there are those guys who are excessively into gaming, and they're the type of guys who probably don't shower, probably don't know how to
Yes.
talk to a woman, right? Yes,
Yeah.
but
And I feel like
that is not the majority anymore.
yeah,
That
that's
that
where a
was
lot of that comes
yeah
from.
that was all like a 1990s, early 2000s kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like when I was in college, like that stigma was there, but here's the thing though, like so that was in 2008, 2009, that stigma was still there. And I've seen those people like because like I was in college. So I was surrounded by those people. But at the same time, as the years have gone by, like with with more people signing up to high-speed internet, right?
Hmm.
Um, Gaming has become more popular and it just kind of kept spreading. And being a nerd, right? And just being a nerd about anything, like okay, like being a nerd no longer means being some guy who doesn't take a shower, who can't talk to a woman anymore.
Oh yeah. You
Yeah,
remember in the
yeah, like
early
being a nerd
2000s?
is like basically a normal person is a nerd. You like to read fantasy novels, you like to watch certain movies. You're a
Yeah.
nerd. Yeah,
Yeah, you remember in like the early 2000s when knowing how to access the internet like was an uncommon thing, right? Like shopping online. I remember did you ever watch The Fairly Odd Parents? Oh, you were probably a little old for that. The Fairly Odd Parents.
no, I never seen that now.
So for those who've seen it, kind of Gen Z-ish, it's like a kid who gets these magical like fairies who grant his wishes. And so he has like all this cool things popping up in his room. And his dad opens the door. He's like, "Where did you get this mech suit?" And he goes, internet. Like the internet was so unknown then that like
Yeah,
buying things on the internet was like, oh my god, I wouldn't buy things on the internet. What? Giving people my personal info? Now it's like, oh cool.
yeah. Now it's kind of just
Insert
a
item.
necessity. It's a necessity now.
Yeah, now it's like cool, whatever, insert item. Everything from food to toilet paper to booze to ammo to clothing, right? To accessories to books. Like you can buy
Yeah.
everything off the internet. And it's not even weird to buy it off the internet now. You're considered weird if you don't buy things off the internet.
Oh yeah. Like, yeah, so being a nerd right now is no longer a stigma. It's more like, okay, yeah, I'm a nerd. Now, of
Yeah.
course, there's still those excessive weirdos. Like, we don't want to be associated with those nerds, right?
Yeah,
Like now there's like different subcategories of nerds. So like
exactly.
here's the general term nerd, and then you just kind of break it down. What kind of nerd are you? Are you the one who's socially aware, or the one who's like kind of, socially awkward, right? What kind are you? What category are you, right?
Yeah, it's like hot take. Okay, I'm gonna drop another one. I'm dropping hot takes like I'm dropping bombs on London today. Um, Anime, you don't like it probably. I don't really care for it. But the reality is, as a social medium, it's going to become more and more popular, and it's becoming more and more destigmatized every single day to where normies watch anime, right? You if
Mhm.
you use Netflix, I have a family member who uses Netflix, so I'll like see what's popular now. People watch anime. They made a Witcher anime after they made the Witcher show.
Hmm.
Like it's becoming a popular
Well,
medium.
to be fair, The Witcher kind of sucks.
Season one was good. Everything after that was
Yeah,
garbage. Yeah.
I just think I just think halfway through the first episode, I just garbage and I stopped watching it.
I mean, it's a Netflix show. Don't get your
Yeah.
hopes up. But
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Well, the thing is, like for example, personally, for example, I am not a fan of anime, but there are a few rare exceptions. And
like you like video games.
like the Death Note, like Death Note, like I make an exception for Death Note. It's well
Hmm.
written. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, it's an anime. It's a it's a fiction. It's supposed to be ridiculous once in a while, right?
Yeah,
But
but you know what also
yeah,
is ridiculous? You're the Roman Empire or Emperor, and you're commanding these guys who do
yeah,
exactly what you
exactly.
say, right?
Yeah,
Oh, you're a special forces guy
yeah.
in
But
Vietnam,
it's all a
right?
form of escapism. So like if Matt Walsh is angry at video games for being woke, well, don't watch movies, don't read books, you know?
Target the
But
weebs, Matt.
yeah, but
We're more
you know what?
socially
Don't play
acceptable.
chess anymore because Kasparov, yeah, Kasparov, right? That guy. No, the guy's a lib. The guy's a big liberal lefty.
Well, actually, did you since we're on that page, chess was actually an Iranian game made. It's a Persian game made to subvert the West, right? So we need
Really?
to. This was an actual controversy in the Middle Ages that people were playing too much chess. They tried to ban it in like Europe. It was funny,
Oh, so
but
it's kind of like the TikTok ban, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, people are being subverted by TikTok. No, they're not.
yeah. Heaven
Yeah.
forbid people have the ability to
Yeah.
speak their mind, but like the hate for video games. I mean, dude, it's 2024. You pick the worst time. You could have criticized them 10 years ago. That would have sat better.
Not 10 years ago. I'd say 20 years ago.
20 years ago would he be
Yeah.
yeah, but better. But it's a matter of social drift. Like you said. I mean, I don't really play video games. I'll crack open Steam like every other week or something.
You play Skyrim, don't deny it.
Dude, I don't. I haven't played Skyrim in a while. Actually I
Bro, I
have been
told you not to
playing
deny it.
more Rome Total War than I want to
Well,
admit.
still, you still play. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like the thing is, it's a norm. If anything, this shows how out of touch Matt Walsh is, like you've been saying. It's a socially normal thing
Yeah.
playing some video.
Well, yeah. Like, also, if you're against video games, you might as well start banning board games like Monopoly, because Monopoly can be addictive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like for example, like not just Monopoly, but I used to hang out with with a group of people when I lived in Arizona, right? And we had this common interest. We would only gather to hang out with each other just to play board games at a public restaurant somewhere, at a hotel somewhere. And like there's a hotel, there's a restaurant in Tempe, Arizona, where we would just hang out. We'll sit at a table and we'll mostly just play sorry, not video games, but board games, like different kinds of board games. And honestly, that became very addictive for me. Basically, I was like so addicted to playing board games that it was like I had to kind of calm down. I had to like calm down because like I was getting addicted to board games. And
Oh yeah.
I still do love board games. Like whenever I see Monopoly, like I have a craving to play Monopoly, right? It's a fun game. Like
I knew you were sick in the head. I knew you were sick in the head.
but you don't like Monopoly?
No, I actually love playing Monopoly.
Okay, I was thinking, wait a minute. But yeah,
It's just it's hard to find
but
people to
I
play.
developed an addiction for Monopoly. And it's not a video game. I mean, they have a video game format version of it. You could play online with other people, but still the actual board game, it's fun. And I'm addicted to other board games. Like
Uh,
because here's the thing, it's a way to communicate with people because we're social creatures. And sometimes, like you feel like an intimacy with certain people. You want to play some fun games with them. So how do you bring this closeness? You do it through games.
oh
And
yeah.
so board games is one way to do this. Then video games are another way. Like you and I, we live far away, and let's say we want to play online together, right?
Hmm.
And here's the thing: we could communicate with each other while we're playing online. We could say, "Hey,
Hmm.
how you doing?" As we're running around, shooting other
Oh,
players.
I mean, here's something that really comes to mind with me. When I grew up, some of my friends would be 30, 40 minutes away, one way, right? You couldn't see them all the time, but you could play COD with them or you could play Halo 3 with them. I mean, look at the memes. There's a ton of memes that are like, you know, today is April 14th, 20, what would that be? 2013. You're playing Halo 3 with your friends for the last time and you don't know it, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like them having a good time. Like this, the more you say that, the more I think Matt Walsh is just like kept in a cryo vat when he's not being filmed and they just unfreeze him. Because the more that you go on about it, the more like really, yeah, a lot of these cultural mediums, they're not just video games, they're also social mediums. Some of my best experiences growing up, and yeah, someone could be like, not a spy, that's sad. Yeah, probably 40 years ago, but like this is a normal experience. Some of my best like experiences with my friends, we're doing goofy things on Modern Warfare 2, calling each other slurs and stuff, you know?
Especially Halo Online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, playing Halo 3 all
Halo,
the time.
Halo was basically Call of Duty just in space, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SWAT was the best game mode on Halo 3, I'll be real.
Yeah. But still, yeah. It's just another form of communication, another form of hanging out with people. Um, what's really sad is that like there are some even like religious folks on our side, unfortunately. Like there are some trad larpers, like because you're a Roman Catholic, I'm an Orthodox Christian, and like we both have some trad larpers within our churches,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
unfortunately like this like one good Orthodox blogger for some reason just started talking about video games and how have the study room instead of the game room. And I'm thinking, I just want both, you know? Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
you
wanted
do
to have the
both.
study room with a bunch of books I could read. And I read history books. I read, novels, right? Like basically it's history, novels, and politics.
Yep.
And of course, religion, if you count the Bible, right?
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, I'm totally for the study where I could have my study and have like my uh, have a glass of whiskey, and a cigar as I'm studying.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally.
But at the same time, like after reading for 2 hours, take a break, walk over to the game room, play some games for 2 hours, and that's it. But
Oh
like
yeah.
so in the comment section, I offered it, why not both? Why can't I
Mhm.
balance? Why can't I live a balanced life?
I met
This one guy
perfect.
and
Oh gosh.
this one guy responded and said like he basically said, "Oh yeah, like why can't I like have the study room and like pornography?" I'm thinking, "Really? You're comparing prawn with gaming? Are you serious, dude? Are you that pious like that you consider video gaming and prawn the same thing? Are you serious?"
Abu Hajar, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Like
I
you
mean,
cannot compare the two at all.
I met a really, really nice young man at the gym. Late young man. He's like 2 years younger than me. Um, but he goes to the gym every day for like 2 hours. And the other day he was like, dude, like I can't even find motivation to get up right now. It's like, yeah, dumbass, because you've been going to the gym every day for like 2 months straight. Like, take a break, calm down. These are the same people that like they'll see you. You mentioned a cigar. They see you smoking and they're like, don't you know that's bad for you? It's like, hey, shut up. You're the reason we can't reach the moon anymore, okay? These are the same people who are like, you have to pick tits or ass. No, I like both. Both. Both is good. Like it's not you can play a video game and chill. Methinks they doth protest too much, right? Like I tell you what, the guy who equates video games to prawn, that's tell me I'm wrong, okay? That is most definitely a methinks thou doth protest too much, you know? That's
Well, I like to use the term piety signaler.
piety signaling.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It's kind of like the Judge Frollo personality,
Yeah.
where I mean, okay, movie
Where
wise,
he basically wants to burn all of Paris because he got a boner.
Yeah, okay. I'll be realistic. Like
Yeah.
memes aside, Judge Frollo was based. Literally me, likes gypsy girls, can't even argue with that. Back to the discussion though, it's the
Yeah.
people who probably actually have a lot of problems. And when you're like, oh, let's chill and have a cigarette, or let's chill and like, yeah, whatever. They're like, oh, that's the equivalent to prawn. It's like I didn't even mention that, dude. Why are you
Mhm.
thinking about that?
Yeah. Well, it's like basically, for example, like when I lived in New Hampshire, I was hanging out with a group of guys from my parish, and
Yeah.
like every Tuesday we would get together, hang out, and we have a beer.
Hmm.
And because on Tuesdays that $4 beers, so like all beers were $4. All beers on the
Okay.
menu were $4, right? So like we would hang out every Tuesday. It was like our hangout thing. But there would be people who would even consider that, like, what do you mean, like you're drinking beer? And of course, unfortunately, like the restaurants slash bar, it did have like a Skittles flag outside, but it's New Hampshire. What do you expect, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, but like that's basically like any institution where you're going to eat, especially in New England. So like
Yeah.
you can't run from that.
Most
But
people
but
don't
still,
understand the pressure.
just hanging out together with a bunch of guys drinking beer
Hmm.
would also compare that to prawn. Be like,
Yeah.
holy, like how can you be pious, and or like it goes back to people like Matt Walsh, right? People having fun, any sort of fun, just to have some sort of escapism. Because if it's not video games, if we get away from video games, there's something else we'll do.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Yeah, totally.
and here's the thing, we might be just addicted too much to hanging out with our friends every Tuesday drinking a beer. We might be addicted too much playing Monopoly, or other board games out there. Or we might be addicted too much reading. Like you need a
Oh,
break
yeah.
from reading too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you got to focus on your family. You got to focus on people around you too. So like reading too much could be addictive as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, so it's not just video games. On top of that, if Matt Walsh thinks that video games inspire people to do violence, guess what? Reading books could do the same exact thing.
Oh, yeah. Like, honestly, literally my favorite book, Beowulf. That makes you want to, like, punch someone in the face. It is so high
I've
thumos.
read that
I,
book one time.
dude, I've read it like 18 times. I'm not even joking. It is a
Yeah.
good book. But I could totally see, like, first time I read it, I was like, dude, I wanna redacted. Like, I
Yeah.
want to cut someone's head off. This is so based. This is
Mhm.
so high T. I love it. Books can do that. You are absolutely right.
Or
But the thing
basically
he's
like
missing.
like any of the Warhammer books too.
Oh
Not
yeah.
all, some are crap, but yeah, like the first three Horus Heresy books, yeah, you just want to like you just want to go to the gym and be like a space marine.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah.
thing that he's missing, you mentioned it. You said it very well. Temperance, right? Anything can become a bad habit. You have to have personal temperance. You have to have self-control. And Matt Walsh just saying like video games bad, the West has fallen. It's like, no, you idiot. You're missing the entire problem here. The problem is people don't have temperance because in society, temperance is considered a bad thing. You're supposed to live and like have a hedonistic life in the United States. That's a culture. Sorry, guys. Sorry to break it to you, but like that's what it is. And no amount of lying saying like that's not real America is going to change it. It's a hyper capitalist society and completely missing the fact that temperance is the virtue that's absent is just it's wasting time.
Okay, so let's read the chats. Yo, poll in the chat if you want me on Inuyasha and Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z. Speaking of, yeah, Gabriel's right. Dragon Ball Z. Like a lot of people, I remember in college used to be into that. When I was in school, I thought that was way too nerdy. Like when I was in high school, I thought that the whole Dragon Ball Z was way too nerdy. And even in
Mm.
college, I thought the same thing. But then when my roommate said, "Look, just sit down and just watch it. Just sit down and watch." And I was thinking, okay. And the moment I started watching, I'm like, oh, you know what? This is actually pretty fun and entertaining,
Yeah,
right?
I
And the thing about Matt Walsh, I guess he also saw like the bad part of video games. Like he
yeah.
like he was playing GTA 5, but here's the problem though. He's playing the online version. So obviously when you're playing online, like there's not much of a story there, right? Like from what I understand, from what I understand, it's more open world online. But
That is so
but the
funny.
thing is, but I think that's like Matt Walsh's only experience actually playing video games too.
That's like,
Right.
has this ever happened to you where like an old person is like, I want to try video games, and so they try it and they're like, I don't know, but they play like Halo Combat Evolved, like, and they're like, oh my god, why are they shooting at me? It's like
Yeah.
they're like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, look at the screen. Just look at the screen. They don't.
Yeah.
They're bad. They're aliens. They're
Well,
alien
that's how
jihadists.
Matt
Okay.
Walsh was playing GTA 5 online. He was actually like doing some stupid things. And he goes, "Oh wait, like why are they chasing me? Like why is there a bounty on my head?" Well, dude, you're literally shooting shooting people up in the street, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's old people. Old people, dude. He
Yeah.
must be a spiritual boomer or
Yeah.
something.
Well, he is a spiritual boomer. He is. Yeah.
He
So
is.
Gabriel says, "I'm not a gamer, but I love video game scores and soundtracks." That is true, by the way. And that's another thing about video games, right? Is that video games now have entire orchestras
Oh yeah,
and choirs, epic choirs, recording in huge studios, expensive studios. They're recording soundtracks for video games. Thank you, Gabriel, for reminding us. Yes.
absolutely. I think it was
Yes.
Mark Collette who pointed out, like, look, dude, video game
Yeah.
soundtracks are like the art where good music comes from.
Yeah.
Few people know this. The
Hmm.
Modern Warfare 2 soundtrack was made by Hans Zimmer, who also made
Oh.
the Pirates of the
The
Caribbean
based,
soundtrack.
straight up
Yeah,
based. Yeah,
dude, yeah. I think it was
yeah,
Hans Zimmer who made it.
yeah.
But like,
Well, Hans Zimmer did on the Pirates of the Caribbean partially. Klaus Badelt did some of it as well. Like it's like a co thing, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was Hans Zimmer then. Or like,
yeah.
I mean, Marty O'Donnell, who also running for Congress based. Marty O'Donnell made beautiful music for the Halo series. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Amazing
Well,
music.
the Skyrim soundtrack, just listen to that. The
Oh yeah,
choir,
for
they
sure.
hired a choir, they have like a big orchestra playing. It's epic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like the music itself, OST music itself is an art
Yes.
of itself.
Well, even going back to like I don't know, forgot the name of the game. It's one of the Final Fantasy games from like the like I don't know, like mid 90s, early 90s, and already they had opera singers singing. I forget the name of the song. I forgot which Final Fantasy it was, but it's some kind of Italian name, something ricotta, I don't know. But like I just enjoy listening to these opera singers. And I'm thinking this was made for a video game in like the
Yeah.
90s? What? Are you serious?
As long
And
as it's not Dark Souls, don't play Dark Souls.
yeah, Dark
It's bad.
Souls sucks, man. Like,
It's
yeah,
bad for you.
yeah. So yeah, like it's just amazing how the gaming industry has evolved. And it's almost like playing a movie. So imagine you basically you're watching a movie, but you're playing the movie.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, you have Heavy Rain where you have like 20 different outcomes at the end of the game. The Fallout games, you have multiple different outcomes there. You decide the fate of people and your own
Yeah.
fate. It's just
Metro.
amazing.
Metro.
Metro as
A,
well,
a
yes.
three-part drama about like a three-part Dostoevskian drama about hope and how that relates to like faith and God.
Yeah,
Like, what is there not to love about that?
exactly. Well, yeah, Metro's a really good game. I agree with you, brother. And Gabriel says Metal Gear Solid, Sons of Liberty is my personal favorite.
I've heard wonderful things about it. I've never
Yeah.
played any of the Metal Gears games. I'll be honest. I'm a troglodyte, but
Yeah.
I've heard they're really good.
I've played only one, and it was only a demo version, and it was on PlayStation 1 at a friend's house. Um, and I think I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. I was like 9 or 10. And I
Yeah.
was like, no, I was 10 years old and I was at our neighbor's house, well, at the apartment next door. And we're playing, it was like a sample. They had this like CD, of
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the,
the CD with
and,
like eight
that
games
all,
on it.
that all the sample games on there. And like, it was mostly like, like each game would have like 2 or 3 levels and that's it. Right.
Yeah.
And so, it was one of the Metal Gear Solid games. Um, and it was fun. Like, yeah, and that's the only Metal Gear experience I ever had.
Yeah.
And then
Dude, I
I
miss
did buy a
those.
Metal Gear Solid game for my PlayStation 3 that I used to own. And for some reason, it would not load. For some reason, like the game just would not start.
Yeah. Huh.
It would say loading, it'll just not do anything. And so I just never got past that.
I never
Yeah.
got because I know Metal Gear was like
Yeah.
that's like a PlayStation
Yeah.
exclusive, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I
So,
think
yeah.
it was.
So, I'll say next time if we're doing like a similar stream on this topic, we should invite Gabriel to join us in a chat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so Gabriel, like if we're doing like a similar stream, we'll try to bring you on.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like get a third perspective
Yep.
on
I what did I most
similar topics, similar topics, yeah.
I
But
mostly grew up playing like
yeah.
Age of Empires. I played a lot of that. And then I
Yeah.
played like the good Call of Duties. Back when the military industrial complex was having them made. Those were when they were good.
I'll say World at War is amazing. Yes, I agree.
Never played that one.
It's actually the prequel to Black Ops.
Yeah, I did I
Well,
really
when I say prequel, it was actually the first one. Like it was actually made first. And on top of that, World at War gave us the zombies.
yeah. Dude, I
Yeah,
played way too
because
many
and
zombies.
what's interesting, like my first experience was on the Nintendo Wii.
What?
Yeah, my very first, because here's what happened. Like I used to date this one chick like a long time ago, many years ago, right? And like we were dating, and I was visiting her house, and the only video game system she had was a Wii, right?
Yeah.
And so like she wanted to go rent some movies at Blockbuster, and Blockbuster was still in business for a while. Like
Oh, the
this
good
was
old
this was
days.
like 2010, I think. Yeah. So,
Dude, I miss
it,
Blockbuster.
yeah. So actually, no, was it? No, it was earlier. It was probably 2009, something like that. Yeah. And so we go to Blockbuster, and so she tells me, "Hey, you want to rent like a video game?" And I'm thinking, what could I get for the Wii, right? But I'm looking around and I see Call of Duty. I'm thinking, okay, World at War. And I'm looking at the cover. And I'm thinking, okay, it looks like some kind of Call of Duty game that no one heard about. It's whatever. I'll get it for the Wii. And I got hooked. I'm like, wow, like this game is awesome. Like I hope more people know about this. Turns out it's World at War is actually very popular. And
Yeah, it's like one
um,
of the most popular.
oh yeah, and like then I got myself a PS3. I got myself World at War, and the graphics there are way better. And and I remember playing online, and they had the zombies, and the zombies are just amazing. I mean, it was the zombies from World at War that started the whole zombie trend.
Yeah, Black Ops made
Yeah,
it even better. I mean,
well, yeah, because
even the starting map, you know,
Black Ops became more popular. That's why the zombies and Black Ops were more popular.
yeah. But I was always a Modern Warfare kid. I just like Modern Warfare more.
Mhm.
I like the because I grew up um I was born in like the late 90s, early 2000s, to where like I see anything World War II and it's like that's just stuffy. That's something that like boomers watch. Like I don't care about that, but I
Yeah,
like GWAT stuff. I
yeah,
grew up seeing the GWAT like
yeah,
happen on television. So seeing COD 4, which was like the GWAT game, was like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like
Well,
that.
COD 4 is also government propaganda. So.
It literally
Yeah.
is.
Hey
Tom
guys, so
Clancy, who worked.
if you're playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, just play them as games. Don't actually take their storyline seriously.
Yeah. if
Like,
you
yeah.
if you read into the storyline, it's like that it's that meme where it's like somebody I used to know play like reverb remix plays. You're like, what? I didn't know the lore was this deep. You mean to tell me that Makarov is a czarist? Actual part of the game. Like nothing, nobody mentions that.
Yeah, so when you think about it, Makarov was actually a good guy. I mean, of course, I mean, because of the whole certain airport level, uh,
Terrible, dude. We do
yeah,
not condone. We
yeah,
disavow.
yeah,
We
with this about,
disavow.
let's just say this: if Makarov did not do the whole airport thing, then he'd be totally like a great guy, like a great guy. But yeah, the whole airport situation, nah, like
I mean, it's funny
it's
that
kind
like
of like for me, like in Star Wars, the Empire, right? Like when you think about it, the Empire,
Alderaan had it
solid
coming.
government, no more chaos, right? Like no more bureaucracy, things are done properly, right? And then, of course, there's a bunch of rebels. Well, what do you do? Well, you blow up an entire planet full of loyalists. You're literally killing off like basically like an entire planet full of loyalists uh, because of
No,
one dude.
no,
Because of
dude.
one.
Alderaan had it coming. Alderaan
Well,
deserved it.
but that's the thing. That's what made like many Imperial soldiers lose morale, and certain desertion rates were going up because of that.
No.
Especially if you
Uh,
have family in Alderaan. Why are you fighting for this empire now?
yeah, that's a good question. Why are they here? They're clearly spies, man.
No, no, but seriously, like Alderaan literally, like because of one guy, like actually being legitimate rebel, just get the guy, right? Or why would you like blow up an entire planet full of loyalists?
This is evidence.
Well,
Tarkin.
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why there are also entire planets that also were loyalists. Then they stopped being loyalists because they're like, wait a minute, like if they did this to like one of ours, they'll do this to us over the slightest inconvenience or something like that.
Tarkin
Like
was literally Himmler doing the most idiotic good things out there.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
So,
the man had drip though.
yeah.
Tarkin, that is.
Tarkin was literally Himmler, not Hitler, but he was Himmler, Himmler.
He was
Yeah,
Waluigi. He
yeah.
was
He's
Wario.
Waluigi. Yeah, he's not Wario. He's Waluigi. Yeah, so, yeah. So Tarkin literally, yeah, he totally messed up by doing that. It's because of him the Empire lost,
Yeah,
basically.
speaking of Star Wars, have you played like the old N64 Star Wars games?
Rogue Squadron and Shadows of
Oh,
the
yep.
Empire.
Those two are good. Those two are
Yeah.
so good.
Well, actually, one of the original Star Wars games came out for Mac. The old PC games, like
Yeah.
originally they're not made for PC, they were made for Mac, for the old
Oh, really?
Macintosh. The old Macintosh computers from like the late 80s and the early 90s, they were the actual gamer computers. A lot of
Oh,
people
I
forget that. Like Duke Nukem came out for Mac OS. A lot of the early Star Wars games that had the 3D graphics, they came out for Mac OS
R.I.P.
systems.
Duke
Yeah,
Nukem as a series, dude.
yeah,
That's so tragic how they did it in. One bad remake was all it took.
yeah,
It's literally Chad Thundercock the game, and they ruined it. How do you ruin that?
yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, so I guess we basically covered that Matt Walsh is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
he's
Yeah,
a bourgeois wimp, a
he's a
bourgeois
bourgeois.
wimp,
He's a bourgeois spiritual boomer traitor to the millennial
traitor to the
generation.
revolution. Remember that, people.
Yeah, a crappy hyper capitalist.
He
Yeah.
is clearly a
Also,
oh god,
I consider him a bad Roman Catholic too. So
he considers himself a Catholic.
yeah, he considers himself Roman Catholic, and
Cringe.
I'm thinking Michael Knowles is actually more of a Roman Catholic than Matt Walsh is.
Yeah, Matt Walsh is a spiritual kulak, and he should be treated as such.
But Matt Walsh literally believes that like UFOs are like just sentient life, while like Michael Knowles is the real Catholic because he knows that UFOs are actual either demons or U.S. government technology, right?
Oh, no, they're not.
Or
They're Atlanteans, yo.
whatever.
We can have this conversation another day, but UFOs are Atlanteans. They
Okay,
launch out of Antarctica.
only fan of my struggle would say that. So
Operation High Jump. Google it. It's a thing.
yeah, yeah. So base 411 is totally real.
I want to believe.
No, well, no, I'm saying like base 411 is totally real, but it's not. but like I'd say it's a combination of U.S. government uniting with the remnants, and
Oh, like
yeah,
paperclip stuff.
yeah. So like that's I just view it as an extension of Operation Paperclip. That's it.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah, like but yeah, but like UFOs are either like just government like craft or demonic activity or a combination of both. And if you're a true Roman Catholic and if you're an actual Orthodox Christian, you know that UFOs are demonic activity. And so Matt Walsh, like he thinks, it's other sentient forms that need salvation. And
They're
here's the thing,
aliens
and that is
not made
by
in
the way,
God's image. We
by,
must
by,
kill.
by the way, that is why um, Warhammer fits more of an Orthodox setting because the Orthodox know that all aliens are demons and demons must be purged. So purge the Xenos.
Uh,
Yes.
I think we can all agree on that. Aliens not made in God's image must be destroyed.
Yeah. Purge. So basically they're demons. Just like be like you see a little bacteria like on a rock on a different planet. Get a match. Just light it up. Die, you demon.
Have you read the what is it, the Blood Angels omnibus?
No.
It's a good one. It's written by C.S. Scoto. I got it somewhere. I know guys will be like, "Oh my God, C.S. Scoto." Shut up. Lift weights. It's a good book,
Yeah. Well, I
but
never heard of
I
him,
highly
so
recommend.
yeah. All right, guys. So if you guys want to support the channel, just like, share, subscribe. Also, you'll see in the links the link to the donation page. It's through Streamlabs, and we'll have the merch link if you want to buy some merch, support the channel. And because, like I said in other streams, not a spy here, like he needs your help. Like I'm trying to give this guy a living wage, but I cannot provide him a living wage if you guys are not supporting the channel. And if he dies of starvation,
Please,
that's on you guys. It's your
please,
fault that it's your fault that I could not pay him a living wage.
we appreciate all the support and we appreciate all the views
Yeah.
from the bottom of our hearts.